Hi, this is Susan Milner with Florida Future Realty, and I'm here to talk to you today about short sales. We receive a lot of phone calls from people who are considering a short sale for their property, whether it's their primary residence or an investment property. And one of the questions that we get quite often is, what is the bank going to say? We really can't answer that for you, but I did want to go over a few of the scenarios that we have had happen recently, just to give you an idea. We've had an investor who owned a property that owed about $300,000 on the property. We were able to get it under contract for about $70,000 in today's current market. We went through the process of sending all the paperwork to the bank, and the end they came back and they said that the investor needed to come up with $20,000 cash at closing. I thought that was quite a bit of money, but considering that he had other assets and stuff, it wasn't too bad. When I called the seller to let him know that that's what they were asking for, he was actually really excited. He was excited because he hadn't even missed a payment. So he got a short sale without ever being behind. It was an investment property, but he did have to come in with cash at closing. So there was one example that happened. We recently had another investor who had a property who owed, about the same amount that we were selling for, around the same amount again. And the bank came back and asked them for $8,000 in order to give them a full release and satisfaction on the mortgage. They had been behind probably 3 or 4 months at that point, so they had some cash that they could come up with, and they were able to do that short sale. Now, the bank did say on that one that their other option would be to give less money, like $3,000, and they could still come after them for the deficiency. So, of course, they decided to come up with the extra money so they wouldn't be obligated for any future deficiency. On, the new walls are there for the primary residences, where they don't necessarily have to come up with anything, and they can't come after them for a deficiency either. But we do have a lot of investors that are doing short sales also, and even if the bank's done one thing before, they could have changed their policy and guidelines, and they may come up with something different the next time. Even we've seen with the same customer or the same bank, the banks come back with different things. That could be because the bank changed their guidelines. It could be because of the investor or the mortgage insurance company. Those could all be different on each, property. So we really won't know until we actually submit the package. And before we can submit a package, we have to have the property listed for sale, collect all the seller's documents, get an actual contract on the property contingent upon the short sale, and we submit that package. And sometimes we hear back in 30 days, sometimes it's 60, 90, 120 days before we hear back. We've had a couple rare instances where it's gone on 9 months or a year. That's pretty rare, but it has happened. With banks not doing what they're supposed to do, assigned to negotiators that aren't looking at their files on a regular basis, losing paperwork, making us resubmit it 20 times within that time period, asking for updated documents every 30 days. These kind of things slow down the process. We are really diligent in following up with the banks. As of now, our full-time transaction coordinator is calling twice a week on every file, just to make sure they have what they need. If anything's changed, if they can't read something that we sent them, if they need something updated, just so that we don't waste any time. We don't want to waste even a week or 2 weeks or a month for the bank to contact us, because they don't usually contact us. We've had before where they've told us they were working on it, and then all of a sudden they closed the file because they said they sent an email 48 hours prior, and we didn't respond because we didn't get the email. If we hadn't called right away, we wouldn't have been able to reopen that file. If we would have waited 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it would have been too late, and we would have had to start over from scratch. So you really want to be careful when you choose a real estate company to represent you. Make sure that they have a system in place, that they're, being very persistent with the banks. We really wish that we could tell you more about what the banks are going to say and what they're going to ask for. Sometimes they ask for cash at closing. Sometimes they ask for someone to sign a promissory note. Most promissory notes that we've seen people sign have been, for between $20,000 to $50,000, and they usually come with no interest. So the payments aren't that bad. And usually they only do that if somebody has really good credit and or considerable assets. The other thing that they may do, that they may fully release but not satisfy, which means that they could come after you for that deficiency at a later date. And the banks do have up to 5 years to come back, in a separate suit to seek the deficiency judgment against you. So keep those things in mind, and really when you receive the approval letter, read it over, review it with your attorney, make sure that it's worded how you want. We may be able to get the bank to change the verbiage, and sometimes they just say no, that's just their standard verbiage and they won't change it at all for it. So again, this is Susan Milner with Florida Future Realty, and we handle a lot of short sales every month. You can find more information on our website at www.theextremeteam.com with dashes in between, so that would be the-extreme-team.com, or you can call us at 239-542-8521, or you can always email me at susan@susanmilner.com, and I look forward to speaking with you. If you have any questions on short sales, or if you're ready to list a property in and around Lee County, we can help. Thanks, and make it a great day.